It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. It is time for Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show, so I'll be talking with two professional women here in just a little bit with the Working Women of Tampa Bay group, founded by Jessica Ravelli, a great networking group for all the professional ladies in the Tampa Bay region. We'll be talking with Claire Lessinger with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission about the Women's Final Four that's coming up here in the Tampa Bay region here on April 5th and the 7th. And also on the second part of the show, we're going to be talking with Shannon Spring, a humor consultant. Very interesting business that she is running, and a very quirky, funny lady. So stay tuned to hear her on the second part of the show. In studio with me, the lovely co-host Stella Giudicelli has returned. Stella, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, knowing I haven't chewed food for the last 2 days. As you know, I'm on a green juice detox right now.
Oh, no, not with the detox stuff again.
Yeah.
So how's that going? I mean, we go to an event last night, and you're like, you don't want to go to the event just because of the food and the drinks.
It's tough. It was tough. I haven't done a green juice detox for quite a while, and actually I've been eating very bad for the last 6 months. So the detox is easier when you eat healthy, or you have been eating healthy, and so it's not one of the easiest one I'm going through. And yeah, it's difficult when you have people going around food, especially, you know, being a ukulele, and the food, you know, there is really, really tasty. With the wine, I do have a solution. I brought my beet juice, and so I could put this in a glass, and, you know, it looks like I was having wine like everyone.
Yeah, it did look like wine and everything. Yeah. And we were at an event last night at Eulalie celebrating Mayor Buckhorn's clear and decisive victory. I think he pulled in 96% of the vote. He joked in, I think his only competition was from the people that wrote in their names almost. So very good event, and, you know, very happy to see Mayor Buckhorn get another 4 years to run the city of Tampa. He's done a fabulous job, and again, congratulations to him as well. So, hey, Stephen, do we have Jessica on the line or no? She's on the line? Okay. Oh, okay. I'm looking for her on the screen. I thought maybe she had dropped off the air. So on the line, we got Jessica Ravelli with the Working Women of Tampa Bay's group. She is the founder. Jessica, how are you doing today?
Good, Jamie. How are you?
Good. I thought you weren't on the line here. I'm looking on my screen. I didn't see you there, so I was like, where'd she go? So I saw you popped up on the screen. I had to ask my producer what happened to you. So Jessica, what's going on this Sunday? You got a big event coming up, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, Sunday is International Women's Day, which will be celebrated all over the world. There's thousands of events happening, not only on Sunday, but really throughout this week and next week in preparation. They're actually using the hashtag Make It Happen, which is this year's theme. So anybody out there who has a Twitter account can actually follow some of the events that are going on by just checking out the hashtag. We're going to be doing our annual lunch. It's our third annual International Women's Day lunch on Friday. It's sold out, which is just great. We're going to be honoring former Mayor Pam Iorio, who's the president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and so that'll be a great event. But if you're not coming out on Friday, you can follow it on Twitter at hashtag Make It Happen, and you can follow all the cool events that are going on globally. So just a fantastic date to celebrate, and a lot of business women events are going on globally. And so, so International Women's Day, March 8th, this Sunday.
Awesome. And also, you're telling me MSNBC's Mike Brzezinski is giving away some big bonus here to women who are practicing how to ask for bonuses. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, Mika is one of the co-hosts of Morning Joe, and she had written a book called Know Your Value, which fantastic book for any woman in business that is needing help when it comes to negotiating pay. It's a topic that's so near and dear to her heart that she has created 5 conferences that are going to be going on all over the country over the next year. One of them is in Orlando, which is awesome. It's November 20th. And so at these conferences, she's actually, it's kind of like a pitch competition, but instead of women pitching their businesses, they're going to be pitching why they deserve a salary increase, and she's going to give away $5,000, $10,000 prizes to the women who best pitch for a salary increase, which is just really cool, and that will happen at the different events across the country. And she will, all that is on the Know Your Value website, which is through MSNBC, which is the show Morning Joe that she co-hosts. So very, very cool. Just announced yesterday, and it's getting a lot of buzz on Facebook and Twitter.
Oh, that's great. And I know equal pay for women in the workplace is something, that's, very important to you and to your organization, and something that, as a member of your organization, that women can get the help and support that they need, correct?
Yeah, and what's great about that book is it puts the onus in the woman's hands to go after the money that she wants. And as women, we need to build our skill set to be able to negotiate for our value. And that's what the book talks about. It's very cool, and I think she'll be doing a lot more of that at these 5 conferences around the country.
Great, great. And also, we're going to go ahead and lead into our first guest here. If you want to talk about a little bit about the partnership that you've got with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission, go ahead and tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, we're just so excited to have the Women's Final Four coming to Tampa Bay in April. I'm really excited for you to hear from Claire, who's going to give you such great information on how you can plug in and get involved. It's really a community-wide event, and there's so many cool things that the Tampa Sports Commission has put together in honor of the Women's Final Four coming to the Tampa Bay area. So as a women's networking organization, we really want to stand behind what they're doing with all the different events. There's going to be some awesome networking that's going to go on that Working Women will be a part of, as well as other groups like Women Leadership and Philanthropy out of USF. So as a women's business community, we really need to come out in force and support the Women's Final Four, because it has huge economic impact on the Tampa Bay area when it comes in, and Claire and her staff have done a real amazing job at putting together all these community activities and in celebration of it coming in April. So kudos to Claire and her staff, and Working Women will be there, and we'll come out in force to support it.
Thanks, Jessica, for checking in with us this morning.
Hey, have a great show, guys, and happy Working Women Wednesday.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a great day. That was Jessica Ravelli, the founder of the Working Women of Tampa Bay's group, here on Working Women's Wednesday, here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. So let's go ahead and bring on our first guest, Claire Lessinger, who is the Sales and Events Manager for the Tampa Bay Sports Commissions. Claire is responsible for increasing the sports market visitor room night production through bringing additional sports and entertainment events to the Tampa Bay community. Claire Lessinger currently serves as the tournament manager for the Tampa Bay Local Organizing Committee by running day-to-day operations for the NCAA 2015 Women's Final Four, which will be occurring in Tampa April 5th and the 7th. Claire, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here.
So first of all, let's talk a little bit more about yourself and your background. So introduce yourself for the audience and give us a little bit more about your history in the sports business.
Sure, absolutely. I was fortunate to have the opportunity to play collegiate athletics, and I was a volleyball player at the University of Florida, and got my degree in sport management, and went on to coach right out of college. My first job was at Boston College as an assistant volleyball coach, and then really blessed to have the opportunity to come home to USF as an assistant volleyball coach. And I served as an assistant volleyball coach, and then the recruiting coordinator, and then the head coach, and I was there for 13 years.
Head coach of the USF volleyball team here.
USF Bulls, absolutely. So
go Bulls.
It's been fun to be back in Tampa for a long time. Worked really closely with Rob Higgins, the executive director at the Sports Commission, when Tampa hosted the Women's National Championship for volleyball in 2009. So always have been, as an outsider looking in, admired what the Sports Commission did here for the community. Retired or resigned, I guess, 2 years ago from coaching, and was blessed to be brought on board in the capacity that I'm serving now with the Sports Commission and helping drive and bring sporting events to the Tampa Bay community. obviously a place that I believe is the best host city in the country and is near and dear to my heart. Been recruiting it for years as a coach, and now recruiting it for events, and is serving now as a tournament manager for this women's Final Four that's returning for the second time to Tampa. We hosted in 08, are hosting in 15, and actually won the bid for 19.
So you got a lot of success in the volleyball business, both as a player and then the coach at USF. So now you're with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission. So tell the audience a little bit more about what the Tampa Bay Sports Commission is.
We're in a nutshell, we're the lead organization that bids on and then hosts sporting events here in the community. But it really we have a hashtag Team Tampa Bay. It is a community-wide effort. The reason why I think we bring big business to town and we also get the business back, we win the business back, is from a team effort within the community. The community really jumps on board and supports our mission and what we're doing. Our partners for the Women's Final Four, specifically with Amalie Arena, USF, the host institution, Florida Sports Foundation, Visit Tampa Bay. We rely heavily on our partners to be successful.
How competitive is the bidding and the competition to get an event like the Women's Final Four into Tampa? Talk to me a little bit about that process.
Yeah, the process, it's very competitive. And it starts with a request for proposal, an RFP, and the city has to obviously meet those minimum requirements and specs that the NCAA has for that certain event. So that comes down to venue requirements, seating, hotels, accommodations, etc. And then once we submit an RFP or we submit our bid, and a bid is quite extensive in terms of the depth at which we need to provide this information, and we rally all our partners around and everyone gets on board, and we submit a bid. And then go through a process of finding out if we're a finalist. And if we're a finalist, which we just were for 2019, then we go to Indy, to NCAA headquarters, and bid pitch with a delegation. So a small delegation goes to Indy, pitches in front of their committee as well as their NCAA staff. And then we find out from that process if we won a year. Yeah. So the bid cycle for this last one was 18 to 22, and we won 19.
Yeah, congratulations on that. So do you miss the coaching aspect? I mean, do you like being in the sports commission? I'm putting you on the spot here.
It's a very common question. I get it a lot.
To make that transition, from being involved in the sport versus running the back end of it. I mean, that's just such a transition. Tell me a little bit about that.
It is, and you hit it on the head. It is definitely a transition. I think probably what I miss most is the day-to-day interaction with student athletes and the mentoring piece. Mm-hmm. But what I love about the job that I'm doing now is that there's a lot of behind the scenes, and it's all about the student athlete experience. And what we get to do and what our city gets to do is try and raise the bar every time to create the best championship for these student athletes and the coaches that attend it. And so there's so much reward in doing that. I mean, when you've coached or played, you find victories in what you do in different ways. And so I feel like we've got this win-loss column all the time with the Sports Commission, and you feel that same rise. You feel like you're in a locker room before a big game, right before a big event. So I get a lot of that same reward out of the job that I'm doing now that I did coaching, and I'm still touching student athletes' lives, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's a great story. Hold that point. I want to talk to you about some of the legacy programs associated with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission when we come back from the break. If you're just tuning in, we've been talking with Claire Lessinger with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council. Join parents and experts at Understand.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help you help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We have a serious crash in St. Pete this morning affecting 5th Avenue North right at 27th Street North. Looks like westbound traffic is blocked on 5th Avenue, so you may want to use 9th Avenue instead. And there's also a crash now on I-4 westbound near the ramp at 275. It's all off to the side, but adding to those delays. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy, high 81. Tonight, partly cloudy, some fog, low 65. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com and catch all the show recaps and past shows on demand over at the website TampaBayRadio.com as well. Currently talking with Claire Lessinger. She is with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission here, the sales and events manager. So tell us a little bit more. I mean, the Final Four is more than just, those, 3 or 4 games. There's a lot of events and legacy programs that are centered around this great event. So tell us a little bit more about this.
Absolutely. You hit it on the head. It's absolutely more than 3 games. And where this event has tremendous economic impact, the socio impact is almost equal. And they host a number of community initiatives. There's tons of ancillary events free to kids and families and youth that take place. And then there's also our legacy programs. And these are programs that the Tampa Bay Local Organizing Committee have created in conjunction with hosting the Women's Final Four here, and programs that we hope will sustain themselves over the years based on how this event has impacted the Tampa Bay community. And to go into some detail on some of those, what we did is we targeted what we felt were probably the 2 most important demographics when it came to the Women's Final Four: student athletes and women, and getting more women involved, women supporting women. This is the premier collegiate women's championship, and why not get more women in our community involved in supporting it? So the first program I'll talk about is called For Student Athletes by Student Athletes. With something that we pride ourselves in, Local Organizing Committee and Sports Commission, is try to raise the bar for the student athlete experience every time we host an NCAA championship or NCAA event in general. So we thought, obviously, we're going to raise the bar for all of the participating student athletes. How can we involve non-participating student athletes? So what we did is we created this program, and it's 64 job positions. So we went across the board based on all of our areas of responsibility with the LOC and with the NCAA, and created job positions for student athletes to get professional development in and around the Women's Final Four. So to give you an example, we have positions under multimedia, we have positions under event management, we have positions under marketing, we have positions under volunteers, and so we launched this in conjunction with USF, our host institution, went out and did an information session with their student athletes. We had 64 student athletes show up on a weeknight that were interested in learning about this program. At this point in time, they actually had to submit resumes, they had to submit applications, they went through a committee and got assigned these positions. So they've never been through anything like this. At this point, we have 40 of the positions filled of the 64. The student athletes are emerged and engaged in the process, and they're out doing some of their job and their work. Some will actually not report to duty till the week of the championship. Others are out doing things right now. And to give you a quick example, we had a track star at USF that is aspiring to be a sideline reporter. So she's in our multimedia area. She came out and had the great opportunity of interviewing Sheila Johnson, who was a keynote speaker at one of our Beyond the Baseline events, which I'll get into in a second. But we brought her in, we prepped her, she wrote her own questions, we practiced with her, we trained her, and then she had this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to interview Sheila Johnson while she was on campus. We obviously filmed that. We've created a recap for it. Now, Leticia Sims has this piece that's a resume builder. It's part of her portfolio, and something she can take with her forever. She bought her first suit for the interview. So that's really the intent of this program, is to give these student athletes real job experience, but in and around a championship, but they're all striving to be in themselves.
That's awesome. You mentioned Beyond the Baseline, another program. Go ahead and talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, Beyond the Baseline. Now, it's a program that's designed to emerge and engage our local women in the community, and really women of influence. So what we did is we created 4 VIP events that are leading up to the championship, and they've all had different size and scope to them, and all been extremely successful. Our next event actually is an exclusive event that will take place at the Epicurean on Selection Monday, where we'll roll out the field of 64. So the true road to Tampa begins on March 16th, Selection Monday. Our next event will actually be in venue, where we will recognize and celebrate Beyond the Baseline and everyone who participated in that, as well as the 4 student athletes by student athletes. It'll be a celebration luncheon where Sheila Johnson will come back and be our keynote speaker for that, and that will happen the day in between the games. The games are April 5th and April 7th at Amalie Arena. And tickets are obviously still on sale. And then that Super Saturday, if you log on to either tampabaysports.org or the NCAA.com Women's Final Four, you can learn all about the free ancillary events and register for them as well.
Okay, and I also see you have another Dream Court project. What is? Talk to me about the Dream Court project.
We are really excited about the Dream Court project. It is. We will be the first host city that's the recipient of the Dream Court project for the Women's Final Four. They have done it with the Men's Final Four before. It's a legacy restoration program. So in conjunction, presented by Lowe's and Teamworks, and then in conjunction with the Nancy Lieberman Foundation, and USF Athletics is partnering as well. They have chosen a Boys and Girls Club, a local Boys and Girls Club, which is the Freddie Solomon location, where they will donate a court to that facility. Now, with Lowe's participation as well, it's become a beautification project. And so it's going to be way more than just the court that enhances that facility for our community. The ribbon cutting on that will happen March 30th. So we're really excited about, again, another example of what this event is giving back to our community.
Now, the Sports Commission obviously is involved in the Final Four that's coming up. That's the big event right now. What are some of the other events that are on the venue? Do we have some other things coming up that you're working on right now?
We do, yes. So we host, on average, 120 to 130 youth amateur events a year. So we stay pretty busy from an event standpoint. But our big ticket items and the things that we have in the queue are, we're hosting the Frozen Four next year in 2016, so college hockey championships coming back to Tampa. And then we have the College Football National Championship in 2017 coming to Tampa for the first time. And then we have Women's Final Four coming back in 2019. We have the SEC Championship men's basketball coming 2022. We have a number of big events slated in the queue for the community, which we're extremely excited about.
So it sounds like a very exciting position. I mean, coming, like I mentioned, in the first part of the show, coming out of the actual being involved in the sports to being behind the scenes and stuff. So it sounds like you're having a great time in this new role.
It's an absolute blast. And again, it's kudos to our community and the support that the community gives to us and what we're doing. It sure makes for a fun job, but more importantly, hosting successful events where they want to come back. It's a true measure of our success. If we host something and it's success and then we get it back similar to the women's Final Four, then we're doing our job.
Well, got about 30 seconds left here. How can people get some more information on the Sports Commission, and how can people get involved and help you out?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a number of ways to get involved. We still need volunteers. Obviously, all of the ancillary events still have open registration for them for women's Final Four, and tickets are still on sale. So as I mentioned, TampaBaySports.org is our website, and you can link to all of those through there, or the NCAA.com/women's Final Four. You can find all of your information out for the women's Final Four there.
Oh, great information, Claire. Thank you very much for giving us what's going on in the community with the Final Four. Great information today.
Thank you so much. It's again, such a pleasure to be here.
We'll be back in a moment on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
If your water leaves stains or smells or tastes bad, you want better water for your home, but where do you start? You normally start on the web, and you might be confused more than ever, but do what I did. Call 1-888-WATER-99. Talk to the Connecticut people at Superior Water. I mean, the Internet is loaded with newcomers and even scammers, but my friends at Superior are rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau and have been here in the Bay Area since 1969. If you're sick of the expense and inconvenience of bottled water, they've got some great alternatives for you. Superior has more water treatment choices than anybody and a low price guarantee. And fantastic water is now more affordable than ever with 0% financing and their famous no obligation trial. So if you're tired of bad water, call 1-888-WATER-99. Whether you have city water or well water, Connecticut can make it great water. That's 1-888-WATER-99.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and I want to share with you a shocking statistic. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America, according to the prestigious Journal of the American Medical Association. Yes, you heard me right. Most times the care we get is great, but good doctors can make a one-time mistake. Accidents happen. But often we find the medical malpractice is committed by the same doctors over and over again. We know who they are. Doctors and hospitals believe in taking responsibility for their actions. That's why they have insurance. When a medical malpractice event occurs, often the injuries are severe. Brain damage, birth defects, cerebral palsy, cancer misdiagnosis, bed sores, and even death. We like our doctors. I love mine, but mistakes happen. If we're not successful, you owe us no fee or cost. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about your legal rights. A lifetime is a long time. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Offices, Tampa.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are seeing delays on I-4 westbound from 50th Street all the way into 2.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
With Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Currently, Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show. Every Wednesday, we'll be featuring two professional women from the Working Women of Tampa Bay's group, great networking group founded by Jessica Rovelli. Heard from her at the top of the hour. And on the first part of the show, we were just talking with Claire Lessinger with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission about the Women's Final Four that's coming to Tampa on April 5th and the 7th, and some great information on the first part of the show. And also, you can learn more about the show and catch replays and recaps of the show over at the website tampabayradio.com. Go ahead and bring in the second guest for the hour. Shannon Spring is a professional at play and founder of Just Humor Me, laughter and learning for the fun inspired and fun impaired. Shannon, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Jamie. Hi, everybody.
Hey, so tell me a little bit more about Just Humor Me. What is this?
Absolutely. Well, I use humor and creativity to help people boost morale and reduce stress and have more fun in life and work.
So how do you get a career in humor? I did some time as a comedian, and it's a very difficult business. And I actually had an idea for a model that you're doing right now when I was doing comedy. You bring humor into the workplace.
Sure.
So tell me more about your business model.
Absolutely. Well, I like to tell everybody that I really have been doing this since I was about 7 years old. When the teacher asks you what you want to be when you grow up, and I said very honestly, I said I want to be a comedian and a veterinarian. I was lousy at science, so I never became a veterinarian.
How do you link those two together?
Well, you get to do both when you're a kid. But I always liked humor, and so I created a really unique, cool career using comedy, coaching, play, a little bit of counseling, too, and just bringing fun and games where it isn't.
Yeah, I see you attended Catholic school, and you said you got a lot of comedy training from that.
I did.
Yeah, elaborate on this for me. What did they teach you in Catholic school that we don't hear about?
Actually, that's what I did my first stand-up routine on, was my experiences in Catholic school.
Did they hit you with the sticks or whatever like they do?
I actually got a demerit on my first communion. Because the priest told me that dogs don't go to heaven, and I strongly disagreed with him.
Oh, I know you're a big dog lover. I see all your posts with all the dogs. And
yeah, well, now I do the pro bono work with the local shelters, so that's how I brought in the veterinarian part.
I thought you were going to bring in your dogs today. I was expecting to see them, but I didn't see. So where are they? You just leave them at home, and they take care of the home for you?
Well, I work from home, so they're always around me, and they are probably the best humor buddies on the planet. So they're always full of, naturally in the moment at all the times, which of course is what humor is all about, is being present, enjoying the moment, having a good laugh, and dogs are naturally good.
And I was expecting to see your lizard friend in here today. Talk to us about who Mr. Lizard is. Who's this guy?
Being in the humor business, you have to be slightly crazy. It's part of the job. And I work by myself. I work from home. So I wanted a business partner, and I found this giant inflatable dinosaur in a medical laboratory.
Yeah, don't get no talk back from him.
I do not. And so he comes with me to a lot of my events. And actually, it's really cool, Jamie. I will put a sign on him, and we'll do all kinds of fun contests. So you have to kind of picture this crazy-looking T-Rex in a Hawaiian shirt with just a real sarcastic look on his face. And I'll do things like at a Christmas party for ASTD, American Society of Training Development, we did a contest of what did Mr. Lizard earned the #1 spot on Santa's naughty list. What did he do? And it's a fascinating study in people and seeing who wants to jump right in and play, who kind of stands back and watches everybody else play. And it was brilliant. Some woman walked right up to the Mr. Lizard and the basket for the contest, and she said, I know what he did. He kissed Mrs. Claus. And somebody else came up and asked me, well, has Mr. Lizard ever been in trouble with the law before? And starts interviewing me. So there's a great quote by Plato that I use. It's on my business card. And it's, you can learn more about someone in an hour of play than a year of conversation. And it's so true. You think about, you go to a networking event and everybody's passing out their card, and everybody's being successful and important, blah, blah, blah. But when you play, you don't actually have your game face on. Your game face is removed when you're playing, and your true personality comes out. So that's what I do. I really get to learn about people through fun, humor, creativity. And in the workplace, it's a great icebreaker. You get to see who's naturally cooperative, who's competitive, who's going to win at all costs, who has a positive sense of humor, who uses sarcasm, which is extremely divisive. I have a lot of do's and don'ts that I coach people on in terms of using humor effectively in the workplace.
Yeah, and I saw on your, you have a Facebook page, Just Humor Me, and you had a post last night. You had that lizard thing, the inflatable lizard, whatever you want to call him. You had him at Publix with you last night.
I did.
You take this thing with you. I mean, it's you're definitely one of a kind. I mean, who drags an inflatable, lizard thing around with them?
I don't embarrass easily, which of course I never should say that on live air, right? Because the next thing I'll do is embarrass myself. But really, it's important that I practice what I preach, that I'm having fun. If I'm not having fun, I'm not going to be doing great in business. And for that, I have 3 rules to being fun inspired. The number 1 is when fun is nowhere in sight, find it, create it, or be it. The number 2 is respond spontaneously to fun moments and be willing to look silly. Be willing to let yourself out to play. And then the third one, which is really the easiest one that everybody can do, is make it a priority to make someone else smile or laugh. And I tell people these are kid-tested, mother-approved rules. You practice them, and no matter what kind of day you're having, you can turn it around. So I'm a big believer in practicing what I preach and having fun and using humor to deal with difficult people, to get through challenging situations, and then also just to keep my own morale up and have fun.
Yeah, you got to be able to laugh at things, and you do this so well.
What would you say, Shannon, is how humor impacts success in business? I've noticed that the most successful people I spend time with have this natural ability to just laugh about things. Yes. And it's actually funny on how, they're successful and you would think that they have a very strong level of seriousness, and you spend time with them to actually realize that they are hilarious. And so seeing that, I've always knew or concluded that there must be a link between being able to laugh and being successful.
Absolutely. And there's a great expression, which is, if you can't laugh at yourself, you leave the job to others. And really the message about that is, don't take yourself too seriously, because when you do, you're kind of making a fool out of yourself, which is really what those people are trying not to do. But it's pretty much unheard of for a company to make the Forbes Best Places to Work list if their employees don't cite that place as a fun place to work. Humor is a key to being successful. And it doesn't mean that everybody's using it or everybody's using it appropriately, but when you do use it, you can increase your opportunities tenfold, because you're connecting with people on a human level, not on a superficial level, but really developing a relationship. And I like to tell people that it's really about being fun inspired as opposed to funny. Because when people think that they have to be funny, they feel a lot of pressure on themselves. They think they have to be a comedian and tell jokes, and that's not what it's about. It's about connecting with people on a personal level, on a playful level, on a positive level, and engaging people in basically what makes you laugh. Mm-hmm. And I even created a humor buddy profile, which is similar to a dating profile. Of asking people what makes them laugh, what are their humor deal breakers. Right. My personal pet peeve is overuse of LOL. Drives me bonkers. LOL this, LOL that, blah, blah, blah. It drives me nuts. So anyway, so it's just coaching people on what is it that makes you laugh. And if you do your own humor inventory, then you'll know what type of sense of humor you have. And how to engage with other people when you see what type of humor they like to have too.
Now, take me through a humor workshop. What does your services offer? So if I'm a business owner and I'm having my boring business sales meeting, you can come in and liven it up for us. So talk to me about these humor workshops.
Absolutely. It's a great way to re-energize the brain and the body. I like to tell people, whatever happened to recess, we never lost our need for recess. We just lost recess. Mm-hmm. And when I say that to a group of corporate executives, you see their eyes go, yeah, who took my recess? Whatever happened to that? They have that thought of, and it's so true. We really haven't changed that much since we were kids. We just wear different clothes, and now instead of sitting behind desks, we're at cubicles. But our brains and bodies need a break. And it's really interesting, Jamie. You'll see these companies that invest thousands of dollars in training their employees and yet don't do anything to make it fun. When you inject humor and fun in the training process and the learning process, you're actually helping not only engage people and attract their attention, but increase their learning retention.
And it's true, I've noticed that when I've been in environment where you could have a little good time with the people you were with, that eventually the productivity increases.
Yes, absolutely. Productivity increases because morale increases, people are less stressed, and you're also boosting creativity and innovation, which is what businesses are always looking for. How do we motivate our people? How do we get more innovation? How do we get more out of them? Well, to get more out of people, you need to give more back to them.
What's the limit now in the workplace between having a good time and then laughing a little too much? I think there may be a limit or like a threshold.
Really, it's about
the balance. Where's the balance?
Yeah, I don't think there's ever any such thing as too much laughter, but there is a way to properly implement humor in the workplace. So when I do humor workshops,
that's what you do.
Yeah, I coach individuals and executives on how to implement a fun at workplace program. It's very important that you keep it sincere. For example, you don't want to have the CEO of the company sending out birthday cards to everybody, signing it, and then walking past those people in the hallway and not having any idea who they are. That's insincere. You want to make it inclusive, where you're inviting everybody's ideas on what do you think is fun at work. Maybe just put out a suggestion box so that you're soliciting and welcoming everybody's input. But I coach people on the do's and don'ts of using humor in the workplace. When it's used effectively, you can attract more customers, increase your sales, reduce healthcare costs by turnover, sick days, because you're having greater customer loyalty and greater employee loyalty. Having fun at work, it's not expensive. In most cases, it's free or extremely cheap, but the implementation of it is absolutely positively key. I've seen people do it inappropriately. I've seen them use humor divisively. I worked with one company. It was actually a major insurance company, and they had a problem with morale in the workplace. One of the higher ups had sent out an invitation to a party at his home, and he said, "No Yankees welcome." And he thought it was hilarious. Well, he really upset a lot of the employees. So I also have to do a lot of remedial humor training in terms of, oh, brother, how do we cover this situation with humor? But you have to do it respectfully. Also, you never want to use humor to dismiss somebody.
I'm sure a lot of people know the person who thinks they're funny, but they're really offensive.
Yes. And oftentimes you'll hear people say, oh, I have a really sarcastic sense of humor. People love it. And I always question that, because sarcasm is great in a Kathy cartoon or on a Facebook meme, but when you use it in business, you can actually lose that sale or lose that person. Yeah. Because sarcasm is extremely divisive. You always want to use humor to build up rather than tear down.
Yeah, great point. In sales, you got to sell yourself before you sell your product, and humor is just a great tool to help make that sell, and something that you help business owners with. Absolutely. Got to take a quick break. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Shannon Spring of Just Humor Me on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear-to-close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
We are just getting reports of a crash on Hillsborough Avenue westbound near Himes. This crash involves a semi, so expect some heavy westbound delays in this area. And westbound delays on I-4 from 50th Street all the way into 275 because of an earlier crash that's still off to the side. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Udowick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy, high 81. Tonight, partly cloudy, some fog, low 65. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. It's Working Women Wednesdays, and we're talking with Shannon Spring of Just Humor Me, a humor consulting company here in the Tampa Bay region. And so, Shannon, tell us tell me some stories about some memorable clients or past experiences that you've had doing this line of work.
As you can imagine, I have lots of great stories. I've been doing this for about 12 years, and I have a lot of success stories, but I will, of course, also share a learning experience story, too. One of my most memorable clients was the United States Post Office, who we usually don't associate as a fun business.
Right.
But I did a customer service program for them years ago, and it was at the Coliseum in Charleston, South Carolina. And I always go into every group trying not to have any preconceived notion of who they're going to be or what their sense of humor is, anything like that. Just go in with fresh, open eyes. So we were doing a program about how to use humor in customer service and sales, reduce your stress. And I tried something new on them, which was a game called the Customer Service Conga Line. And what I did was I had everybody take their shoes off. We went out into the Coliseum. And I was in the front of the conga line, and what we did was we had everybody in line call out a customer service friendly phrase, like thanks for your business, have a great day, we have new products and services, whatever it is. If it was anything positive, that was a green light, and that would cause the conga line to start going. Okay. And the music would play, everybody would dance, and as soon as somebody would call out a negative phrase like no refunds, they didn't thank the customer, whatever it is, they would call out a hostile phrase, then the entire conga line would come to a halt until somebody said a green light phrase. And it was a great blast, and in every single program I do interactive games so that you really are teaching the points as you're moving. And again, of course, that's combining the physical component, too, where you're keeping the brain alive and awake. But it was a great fun. You get to watch all these people that are usually, behind a desk and things are just ho-hum and blah, 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 out there laughing and connecting with each other doing the conga line.
Talk to me about dealing with the difficult personalities. You're telling me starting to tell me a story off air about dealing with, the typical corporate executive who brings you in, but yet you kind of got to sell yourself to them. And so how do you handle these types of objections and get yourself over in front of these really difficult personalities with humor?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I like to use the terms fun inspired and fun impaired. And I did have an experience where I was teaching a program called People Peeves, a 12-step program for dealing with and diffusing difficult people. And I like to start off the talk by asking how many of us in the room know a difficult person, and everybody raises their hand. And then how many of us are a difficult person? And every now and then I do get a brave soul who admits that they're difficult, and it's great. We get a good laugh, and we talk about how everybody is somebody's difficult person. But I did have one instance where an insurance company was bringing me in, and the gentleman was just a lovely man. I had a great time talking with him, and he brought me in to meet his group. And a fight actually broke out during my sales pitch amongst the executives. And the night before, for whatever crazy reason, because I like to say that, the crazy ideas are sometimes just crazy enough to work. For whatever reason, the night before, I got this feeling, I better just have a little extra tool in my bag tomorrow. And I had written a quick puppet script on humor and morale in the workplace. And it was about people fighting. And anyway, I dumped all these puppets into my Kermit the Frog bag, and I bring it into the boardroom, and in the middle of my sales pitch, a fight breaks out. So what I did was I took the bag, I dumped all of the puppets out into the middle of the table, and gave everybody a script. And I said, okay, people, let's take it from the top. And it was wild, Jamie. It was like watching a bunch of kids getting distracted by a shiny object. Everybody stopped arguing. They reached into the middle of the table. They grabbed a puppet, and they started reading my script. And my script actually was a sales pitch for why they should hire me. So the last line of the script was, I know how to improve morale in the workplace. Let's hire Just Humor Me. And it was great fun because it broke up the tension, which is about what humor is about. But during the sales pitch, the employees were looking at me like, are you picking up on the fact that our boss is the difficult person, that we're not the problem? Mm-hmm. And I'm having to send eye contact across the room like, yeah, I'm feeling you, I'm hearing you, I'm seeing it. let me see what I can do.
Yeah, it's a tough line to walk because that's the guy that's paying you too, right?
Exactly,
so you gotta walk that line
I can't
carefully.
give him the fun impaired sticker, or he's not going to hire me.
Yeah, if you tick him off, he's like, I ain't paying this woman. Yeah, she made me look bad in front of all my people.
Yeah,
That's
you have
all
to
what
be
I hired
very
her to do.
respectful of people and where they're at.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a tough line to walk. So what makes you an expert in the humor business?
Well, I love that question because while I do have a lot of credentials, I have an undergrad and a master's degree in education and communications and all kinds of cool certifications in creativity and humor. Really what makes me an expert at it is my life experience and truthfully learning how to play with whatever life throws my way. And I'm always fascinated by how people got started and what they do. And I like to encourage people that maybe haven't gone to college or that want to switch careers. If you really want to get into something different or something that you're passionate about, what is it about you as a person? Not necessarily your degrees or what's on your resume, but truthfully, what is it about your personal qualities that you're bringing to the table really is more what makes me an expert. I practice what I preach.
And you consult with the business owners and the corporate executives, on a fun at work program. Tell us a little bit more about the fun at work programs.
Sure. Well, sometimes people will approach me with a specific problem, such as morale. Our people are not getting along. Or we just want to increase team building. Maybe everything's going great. They've already got their A game and they want to maintain their A game. So I customize my workshops based on the customer's needs. Sometimes they'll just want fun and games, which I can do, and I love to do that. I will always customize and create unique games for each client. And sometimes they have a very strong message that they want to get across, or they'll bring me in where they have a conference and there's a lot of brain heavy material that can really fry you out if you're not doing something to inject fun. And I will look at their curriculum ahead of time and figure out where can I inject humor, fun, and play to break up the monotony of the day.
You ever spoke in front of a group of realtors?
I have spoken with realtors.
That's what I do, so.
Well, and I really like them, and they're an interesting group. They tend to be very competitive with each other.
Of course.
And so that can go one of two ways. They can really help and support each other in the games and be playful, or they can really get cutthroat. And actually, the first program that I did with the group of realtors, that's the first audience where somebody spoke up and said, yes, I'm a difficult person.
I probably know the guy. I'm probably doing a deal with him right now. So he's definitely a difficult guy.
And there was an argument that broke out during that. Now that I think back, where the two realtors were arguing with each other across the room, and I had to use it as a learning example.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I pull on I have a degree in counseling too, and I will bring in my counseling into the humor environment as well. So I have that to back me up.
No, that's a great aside to what you do. So is fun ever counterproductive though?
It really isn't. It's really all in about how you use it. And I like to tell people that if you're not having fun, you're losing money. And that will get people's attention. What? We're losing money because we're not having fun? That's crazy. And they tend to think that if they walk by their employees and their employers are goofing off or having fun, that they're not doing their job. And it's so the opposite of that. Now, obviously, if people are sitting there and they're trolling Facebook all day, which I have to monitor myself on, then they're not doing their job. But in terms of using humor appropriately in the office, where there is laughter, there is learning. And where there is laughter, there is health, there is happiness, there is morale, productivity, and then therefore profitability.
And we got about a minute left or so. And so what inspired you to do this, and how long have you been doing this line of work?
I've been doing this about 12 years, and I saw the movie Office Space.
Office Space,
if you haven't seen it, audience, yes, it's one of the best movies ever. That is your humor homework from me. Go rent the movie Office Space or watch it again. And I vowed never to be Peter Gibbons. I have a mad crush on him, but never
I've got so many lines from that movie memorized. I use them all the time in conversation.
It's so true. It's so true. So really, it was just wanting to inject fun where it isn't, and to remind people that we have the right to enjoy our lives, life, liberty, and the pursuit of humor and happiness.
Great interview, Shannon. Got about a minute left. How can people get some more information on your workshops and get in touch with you?
People can visit my brand new spanking website, www.justhumorme.com, and Facebook /justhumorme. And remember, for a good time, call Shannon.
Very entertaining interview today. Shannon Spring with Just Humor Me. Shannon, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me, Jamie. I appreciate it.
And also thank you over to Claire Lessinger with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission talking to us about the Women's Final Four coming up here on April 5th and 7th in the Tampa Bay region over at the Emily Arena, actually. So if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you in here tomorrow.